Hi, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and I would love it if you stayed a while. Click that subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified every time I release a new video. So I took a week off, well deserved, and I was able to relax and recharge. So I'm back with a video on how to create functional art. And in this video, you can personalize the art, you can make it abstract, you can really just get creative. That's the whole point, but it's functional and it's cheap, costing me $7 to make, and it took me only an hour in total. So if you're interested, I think you should keep watching. So I collect these wood pieces, and most of the time I find them on the side of the road. And I needed a large enough piece to make a coat rack. And this one, if I remember correctly, was about 2 inches by 3 3/4 of an inch. So because I wanted to make sure the paint was gonna adhere correctly, I sanded it down quickly, just a rough sand, and MJ showed up, like always, and just wanted to sit on my project, you know, and be cute. I decided on a nice, simple, a nice, simple skyline of Puerto Rico. I don't know if you guys know, but I am 100% Puerto Rican, and I love my heritage. I love the island, and I decided on this skyline. And I just love it. I love it. I scaled it down on my laptop, make sure that it fit nice and perfect with this piece of wood. And so I unfortunately had to use 2 separate pieces of paper. So here I am just lining it up, making sure that it's centered. And then I had to cut it out very carefully. There was a lot of grooves, a lot of peaks in the building, a lot of detail, and I had to make sure that I cut it out as precisely as I can. So this took a little while, but this is a very necessary step. And after I finished doing that, I made sure that it was nice and centered. If you see very closely, I used a pencil to mark where I had centered the paper previously. And that's pretty much what I'm doing here. I'm taping it down, making sure that the tallest building is perfectly aligned. I'm using packing tape because Scotch tape just wasn't strong enough. So I go in using both a regular size Sharpie, a black Sharpie, and a fine tip Sharpie. The fine tip is mostly for the very detailed parts, and this is just a rough tracing. And then once I am satisfied with what I have, I go back in and I just fill in the spots where I feel it needs to look thicker, and I'm just satisfied with the tracing. But this is more of a rough tracing at first. So you'll see I go back in, I'm adding in the details like the peaks, the antennas, the crosses on the top of the churches. I add in the cute little details on the top of the sailboat and the figures that make up that statue. And I really wanted to use black paint, but this was the best option, and it actually turned out looking like paint. After I did that, I wanted to make sure that it was very secure to the door. So I'm using, I don't know what these are called, but I got them in a pack of photo frame hardware, I believe. And I got that at the hardware store. I'm nailing in the hooks that it attaches to. This also came in with the photo frame kit. So with just the skyline, I thought it looked pretty boring, and I envisioned adding in a flag. The flag of Puerto Rico is red, white, and blue. So I used some colored pencils to create the outline of the star and the triangle. And then using this $7 acrylic paint set, I go in with an old makeup brush. I go in with the white first because I'm going to be using the same makeup brush for the rest of the project. I'm using these dabbing motions because I want it to look abstract and I want it to look like clouds. This wasn't very pigmented, so I had to go in and layer it multiple times. But once I'm satisfied with the white, that's when I go in with the next color. Now, this is what I envisioned for my project or for my art piece, but you don't have to do the same thing. If you like the skyline, maybe you just want to fill it in with black paint. It really depends on you. Get creative and just go with the flow. So once I go in with the blue, it really starts to come together and look like the sky. And I'm making sure to be very careful around the details of the skyline because I want the actual skyline to remain with that nice wood color. Now I go in with the red, doing the same dabbing motions, and eventually I use my finger and line the perimeter of this flag to make sure that the edges look nice and seamless. It comes together so beautifully. And I hope you're inspired to do a project like this for your home. Thank you so much for watching, and if you love this video, click that like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. How do I say that? Like, recharge? All right, let's do it. Personalize it and creative. Hey! Okay, I'll start all over again. Sorry. If you...
Go.
I'm sweaty. It's the pleather. And I would love it if you stayed a while. And that's dumb, it sounds very fake.